Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, January 11th. I'm your host of The Joe Show. Now, it's a great morning. Some of you know why it's a great morning, but we will get to that. As you know, first few playoff matches were played last night. You got the Green Bay Packers taking on the Chicago Bears. But before that, you had the Rams taking on the Panthers. Both very close games. Um, but we will get to that after this. Two teams, three teams actually, made some hires. Um, Commanders fill that offensive coordinator vacancy with David Blau, former Lions backup. Now David Blau played on the Lions. He started a few games. He was serviceable, but um, I mean, not sure how this is gonna pan out. He was, good enough to be a backup to. I believe he backed up Matthew Stafford when he was still in um the he was still on the Lions. We played as a Bears fan. We played against him a few times on Thanksgiving. But another hire, the Falcons named Falcon legend Matt Ryan as president of football operations. Let's hope he doesn't bring 28-3 with him. Um, let's hope all of that stuff is left, at that Super Bowl. But he's going to take over as uh, president of football operations. I'm excited to see what he's got cooking. Um, I've always kind of liked the Falcons. I never really hated them. Um, the NFC South has suffered since the 2010s. None of them have really been good aside from when Brady went to the Bucks. Um, Now the All Pro roster was released, and there are a couple Bears players on here, but I'm gonna go over the whole thing. Our first team All Pro at quarterback, we got Matthew Stafford. Kind of saw that he led the league in passing touchdowns. I believe he also led the league in yards. Um, had the same amount of picks as Drake May, even though he threw quite a few of those against really bad NFC South teams. I mean, he had bad games against the Panthers and a really bad game against the Falcons. At running back, we got Bijan Robinson out of Atlanta. I mean, he has just ever since they figured out that using the guy you drafted in the first round is probably a good idea, this guy's just been crazy. I mean, if you look at the bottom right of the screen, we can see a few of his plays. The dude's just so shifty. He just moves so well. Um, Fullback Kyle Juszczyk, as always. There's been no better fullbacks in the league. I believe he is the last of the true fullbacks. Wide receivers, we got Puka Nacua out of Los Angeles. We got Jackson Smith and Jigba out of Seattle, and Jamar Chase out of Cincinnati. Now, Puka Nacua and Jackson Smith and Jigba have been battling for that number one receiving yards spot, and Jackson Smith and Jigba won. He's got over 1,700 yards. The dude's a baller. I mean, ever since they traded DK Metcalf and he stepped up, I mean, the dude stepped up and stepped up big. Puka Nacua, mid-round steal for the Rams. The dude's just burst onto the scene and been so good. I mean, the dude was putting up quarterback numbers at the receiver position. I saw one game, dude had 225 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. That's quarterback numbers. I've seen like quarterbacks throw for that amount of yards and that amount of touchdowns. Jamar Chase had a down year, but of course his starting quarterback, missed most of the season. I still believe he put up over 1,000 yards. Um, he was great. Our all-purpose player is Christian McCaffrey. Dude's also been crazy. Apparently, they did some sort of sacrificial ritual to keep him healthy, and that sacrificed Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. Um, Trey McBride at tight end, that is really self-explanatory. The dude's a goddamn baller. I mean, he's tight end one in fantasy, and he has been for like the last 3 years at a very inconsistent tight end room, especially because he has Jacoby Brissett throwing to him. It seems the Cardinals have kind of given up on Kyler Murray. I assume he'll probably be a trade piece this offseason. Garrett Bowles out of Denver been playing really well. I'm not going to go too into the offensive line side of things. Joe Tooney in Chicago for the guard position. He's also been playing great. I mean, other than him blocking Drew Dahlman in the back on one of the snaps, I was very upset about that last night. The dude's been a game changer. I mean, he had one pre-snap penalty, and honestly, I don't even think that he moved. He had a false start way back in the Eagles game, I believe. They called him for a false start. I mean, when you watch the replay, the dude didn't even move. Creed Humphreys, dude's been one of the best centers in the league for the past few years. Kansas City got a stud out of him. Right guard Quinn Mariners out of Denver. That Denver O-line, very, very good. Apologies if I said that wrong. And then Penei Sewell at the right tackle position. I don't think there's many people you could say that are better than him. Of course, the second team All-Pro nominee, divisional opponent, Darnell Wright is right up there with him. Darnell Wright's coming to his own this season. Been an absolute baller. Onto the defense. Who saw this coming? Myles Garrett out of Cleveland. Sure, I didn't see it coming. I mean, the dude only broke the single season sack record this year. You guys know the meme of the Bugatti in the trailer park? That is Myles Garrett is that Bugatti, and the Cleveland Browns are the trailer park. I mean, Myles Garrett, when he was drafted as a generational talent, and he has delivered. He has broken so many records, and the dude's just so good. He gets triple teamed and just steps around guys. I'm very passionate about Myles Garrett. One of my favorite non-Chicago Bears player. Of course, he had the one kind of blemish on his career when he decided to use Mason Rudolph's helmet as a weapon. Will Anderson Jr. out of Houston. That Houston defense is no joke. I mean, Will Anderson has just been, he's had a great season this year. He gets to the quarterback so well. And then our last nominee, Micah Parsons out of Green Bay. Before he tore his ACL, praise to him. I saw a video of him moving that knee again. Good for him. I'm glad he's going to be back soon. Not this season, as the Packers season is now over. But Micah Parsons, one of the best edge rushers in the league. I mean, the dude flies off the ball. He's not really a power rusher, but he is strong, but he's so quick. Interior D lineman Jeffrey Simmons and Zach Allen, both Tennessee and Denver respectively. They're both great run stoppers. Jack Campbell out of Detroit and Jordan Brooks from Miami. Jordan Brooks, the league leader in tackles. I believe he had over 170 tackles. He played great this year on a Miami defense that wasn't really that good. Jack Campbell in Detroit. The dude's a baller. I hate to say that about a divisional opponent, but Jack Campbell, everybody questioned him when they drafted him and Gibbs in that first round. and second round, respectively. But, Jack Campbell definitely stepped into that role and played a very, very good, played very well at that role in uh, that Detroit defense. Cornerbacks, Quinyon Mitchell out of Philadelphia and Derek Stingley Jr. out of Houston. Both have been great. I mean, Derek Stingley, I have a lot to say about him. Dude's a lockdown corner. With Pat Sertan having a down year, Derek Stingley on that Houston defense is just he's so good, dude. And what helps him out a lot is he doesn't have to cover very long because that pass rush gets home all the time. I mean, there's just nothing they can do about that Houston pass rush. Quinyon Mitchell played at an All Pro level, and he got the nod. I think he deserves this spot. Another Philadelphia cornerback making it onto the scene is Cooper DeJean. He's the slot corner. He's played well in Philadelphia. I don't watch many Philadelphia games. On to safeties, Kyle Hamilton and Kevin Byard. Kyle Hamilton's played very well in Baltimore ever since he was drafted. I mean, I still don't know how he fell that far down the draft boards. The dude was amazing in college, and all of his game is just translated. Whether he's going for the quarterback or in run support or even just in coverage, I mean, the dude does it all. Kevin Byard out of Chicago leads the league in interceptions. He is a ball hawking safety. He plays very well. I mean, he covers a lot of ground and is so good at just reading the quarterback's eyes. Very, very good safety. Some special teams players. I'm not going to go too deep into them, but we'll talk about the punters. Jordan Stout out of Baltimore, and the place kicker is Will Reichard out of Minnesota. On to second team All Pro. I'm not going to go too deep into these. We got Drake May at quarterback. James Cook at Buffalo, league leader in rushing yards. Patrick Ricard out of Baltimore. George Pickens, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Chris Olave all got the nod for second team All Pro. For some reason, Bijan gets the nod in the all-purpose yards. So Bijan is a first team and second team All Pro at two different positions. Congratulations to him. Kyle Pitts out of Atlanta for tight end. Disagree. Colson Loveland should have got it. I'm kidding. It probably should have been Kittle, but if Kittle played the whole year. Trent Williams out of San Francisco, Quentin Nelson, Aaron Brewer, and Chris Lindstrom. Darnell Wright out of Chicago. Gotta love it. Edge rushers Brian Burns, Daniil Hunter, and Aiden Hutchinson, all very good edge rushers. Leonard Williams out of Seattle, and Cameron Hayward for interior linemen. Devin Lloyd and Ernest Jones the fourth for linebackers. Pat Surtain. Did I say he was having a down year? He's not having a down year. He's just not having as good that defensive player of the year kind of year he had. Devin Witherspoon still playing at all pro level in Seattle. Slot corner, Derwin James, still one of the best. Safeties, Talanoa Hufanga, Xavier McKinney, and Jesse Bates. Why is there asterisks on them? All very good players. I'm not upset at any of this. My predictions were that, Matthew Stafford was going to win the MVP. I don't really got much to say about the All-Pro roster. It's just a team of really good, really good guys. I'm just glad some Chicago Bears made it up there. A head coaching hire, a GM hire I missed was the Miami Dolphins hired John Eric Sullivan for their general manager spot. I don't know much about him, but good luck to him. On to the playoffs. The first game we had was the Rams and the Panthers. As we can see, not a very rushing heavy affair. I mean, both teams had over 300 yards, 300 total yards. I mean, it was close the whole way. Carolina, for if it hadn't been for a dropped pass from Tedero McMillan, they might have won this. Um, I mean, that pass would have gotten them in the field goal range, and they had all of their timeouts. Bryce Young, I don't think he played bad. I don't think he played great either. Um, Obviously the backs. Chuba Hubbard had 2 rushing touchdowns. Bryce Young getting one of his own, as we can see right there. But good lord, these guys played so well. I was so tempted to put the house on the Panthers covering the spread, and I really should have. I knew this game was going to be close, but I didn't think it was going to be that close. I mean, I did not have the Rams winning by 10 points. High scoring affair. I mean, this was just a fun game to watch. And an even more fun game to watch for only the fourth quarter. The Bears finish the Packers off 31-27 in the final moments. You know, there was some miscommunications in the first quarter, receivers running wrong routes. Caleb threw a few picks. And before you knew it, we were losing 21-3 at halftime. I mean, it was rough. And we come out, we score 3 points in the third quarter. I mean, at that point, it was 21-6. Who thought we were going to score 25 straight points in the fourth quarter? I mean, if they could play like that for the first 3 fucking quarters, we would have dropped 100. We would have dropped 100 on these fools. Like, good lord. I don't know why they feel the need to wait until the last possible moment, but going over some stats, Caleb Williams, over 360 yards. I believe that's the most for a Bears quarterback in a playoff game. He had 50% completion percentage, right down the middle. Pretty on brand for Caleb. He's got to iron out some of those incompletions. I know he throws the ball away a lot to avoid sacks. But he also had 2 passing touchdowns, one to DJ Moore on that beautiful fake screen that they stole from Washington when Luke McCaffrey ran that against him. Caleb also having 2 picks. Jordan Love, pretty similar stats in terms of completion percentage and yards. Same amount of 2 less attempts, same amount of completions, 320 yards. But the only difference was Jordan Love threw 4 passing touchdowns. I believe he was great in the first half. I believe he played really badly in the second half. Just couldn't get it going. The offense in general couldn't get it going. Our defense stiffened up very well. They only allowed 6 points from a Green Bay offense that put up 21 on them in the first half, and they almost shut them out. If it hadn't been for a few missed tackles, they probably would have shut him out. But moving on, the rushing attack wasn't great. I mean, Kyle Monunga had some good rushes. DeAndre Swift went for 50 yards and a touchdown. The Packers running backs kind of had a rough game. I mean, Josh Jacobs under 3 yards a carry. And his longest rush of the day was 13. They had a few end arounds for Jaden Reed and Christian Brooks. Emmanuel Wilson got a carry, but he didn't go for very much. On the Chicago receiving, and I mean, it doesn't get any more predictable than this. Colson Loveland, over 130 yards. The dude's a baller. I mean, he's had 10 receptions in his last 3 games. Over 6 receptions in his last 4. The dude just catches almost everything that comes his way. And I mean, besides the 2, fumbles that they had, both of them ended up somehow being ruled incompletions. I disagree with those calls, but I understand why they made those calls. But Rome Odunze in his first game back hauls in two balls. That one big play with Caleb threw a perfect pass on the run, gets hit. I mean, and then DJ Moore, what a guy! I mean, hits him on that fake screen for just a walk-in touchdown, basically. Luther Burden had an alright game. I believe Caleb was getting mad at him because he ran the wrong route a few times. Omale Zacchaeus with a touchdown reception. He played great too. He didn't see much field time though. The defense played awful in the first half, and then what looked like the 85 Bears in the second half. I don't know what happened. I was calling for Dennis Allen's head at halftime. And I'm glad that he was able to adjust and get it done versus the Packers at home. I mean, the crowd was out of it at one point, and then the Bears just kept rattling points off. It was so impressive. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. I was so ready to turn off the game. I told my dad, I'm shutting this shit off. This is awful to watch. It was just, I couldn't believe that we pulled the victory out. But we have some battle scars. 2 key players went down. TJ Edwards, he was reported to have a fractured fibula. I don't know if you guys saw, but he had his foot pretty much turned backwards on a route that Christian Watson ran. His foot just got caught on Watson's leg and just got turned around. It was tough to watch. I knew pretty much he was out. They brought the full leg cast out and carted him off the field, and I was like, oh, he's done for the season. But another player, a huge one that we're going to lose for the season too, is Ozzie Trapillo. Ruptured his patellar tendon and hopped off the field. Good hustle, but I mean, it sucks that we lose him. I feel like Theo did okay in pass pro when he did have to come into to play. If we got the Eagles next week, he played great against them the first time in that run blocking scheme. I mean, Theo played. I think he had a catch. Okay, he didn't have a catch, but I know he lined up as a wide receiver once, and I was very questionable on that one. Ben Johnson, I have a few comments about him. I feel like he treated this like a Madden game in the first half. I mean, he went for it on, almost every single time. Let's look at the first quarter. Downs. A field goal. Interception. I mean, he went for it what? I mean, this was 4th down too. Here, we were going for it on 4th down. If it wasn't a pick, it was downs. I mean, 3 straight possessions. Turnover on downs. After that, I believe this was another 4th and go. Yeah, 4th and, yeah. So that was another one that turned some heads. But I mean, after that, field goal, touchdown. Where was this in the first half? What are we doing? Come on, guys. Come on. as for our opponents for the next week, the Bears host a playoff game, which is nice. So we'll have another home game. And now we will either play the Rams or the Eagles. And it will all depend on this game right here. If the Eagles win, they're coming to Chicago. Seattle will play the lowest remaining seed. But if the Niners win, the Rams are coming to Chicago. So, do I feel better about one matchup over the other? I feel better about playing the Eagles. We worked them at home. Are they going to be ready for us? Probably. But they got worked at home. Ben Johnson's scheme against them when they was just run through a motherfucker's face. And they ran it all over him. I think that game they had 2 backs go for over 100 yards, which was the first time that a Bears duo did that since Walter Payton was playing. Mind you, they went on to win the Super Bowl that year. Bears Super Bowl 2025, 2026. Who knows? But I'm hoping for it. Do I think we can get there? Not with the way we're playing right now. They got some shit to iron out. But if we can play like we did in that second half, specifically in the fourth quarter, besides that Matthew Golden touchdown, please, we could win the Super Bowl. This year is so wide open; it's nobody's game at this point. I've never seen a season like this where there's not a favorite to win the Super Bowl. It's crazy. For my college fans, how about IU dropping, 50 on Oregon? How about that? Let's see the final score. I know Mendoza went for like 5 passing touchdowns. Yeah, 56. Man. What a game for Mendoza. Kalon Black, too, had a game. Wow. They were pulling their starters. This was just a great game to watch. IU having a Cinderella year. I wouldn't quite call it Cinderella year, but they were good last year. But holy shit, 56, and this is a playoff team. So they're headed to Miami for the college football championship. It'll be played against Miami in Miami. I believe the Hoosiers are favored to win that game by quite a bit. Let's go check those odds. Yeah, they're playing in Hard Rock. IU is favored to win by over 7 points. Carson Beck had a down year last year, having a good year this year in the college football playoffs. So I'll keep an eye on that. Tickets as low as $3,200. God damn! Holy shit! But anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. There are some questions about coaches, and some draft players. Some people are saying Dante Moore, the Oregon quarterback, after the game he had against the IU defense, that he shouldn't declare. I don't think he had a bad game. He still threw for 200. He still threw for 2 passing touchdowns and a pick and for over 200 yards. I don't necessarily think that's an awful game. They just got outscored like crazy, or was the wrong game? Yeah. Oh well, I mean, even still, two passing touchdowns, over 250 yards, and a pick. I mean, it's not like he went out there and threw six picks. The defense just was really bad for them. I mean, look at what they did to. They dropped 51. Four passing touchdowns, over 300 yards. But, media will be media. There was some rumors about Matt LaFleur not being in the Packers locker room after this game. My buddy wants him gone. He has had enough of Matt LaFleur. But I told him, John Harbaugh, you are a Chicago Bear. I don't know. I think John Harbaugh actually goes to Green Bay. I don't think so. But what's interesting is that John Harbaugh said he was going to wait until this coming week after the wild card round to start interviews, which means he's eyeing up one of these playoff teams. Maybe the Bills, if they're a first round exit. Maybe Sean McDermott gets the can. Maybe Nick Sirianni gets the can or even Kevin. I know Kevin Patullo's getting the can. I mean, come on. But maybe Pittsburgh cans. They're not gonna can. I mean, they're not gonna can their head coach. The Steelers like Mike Tomlin way too much. But Liam Cohen's job is safe. I mean, Kyle Shanahan's up for Coach of the Year. The LA Chargers, his brother, solid. He's gonna be his job safe in LA. New England. He's also up for Coach of the Year. But do I think Matt LaFleur will get fired? No. Probably not. But I do believe him and their general managers' contracts are up after I totally lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys. Their contract is up after this year. I feel like Matt LaFleur was on the hot seat when he didn't fire Rich Bisaccia. But honestly, the direction I see the Packers going, if they do fire Matt LaFleur, is they're going to promote Jeff Hafley. The dude's a great defensive coordinator. Is he going to be able to step up in that head coach role? I sure as hell hope not. I don't want to play him twice a year. His defenses are so good, especially with Parsons. You know how scared I am of that shit? But Packers fans are calling. I'm going to end it on this. Packers fans are calling for Brandon McManus's head like we were calling for Cody Parkey's head. On to the divisional round, everybody. I'm so excited. First playoff win in over 15 years. Caleb with cheese grater hat on at halftime. Ben Johnson in the locker room saying, fuck the Packers. And the prophecy holds true. Ben Johnson has beat Matt LaFleur twice in 1 year. I'll leave you guys on that. Bit of a longer episode today, but it's so well worth it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. and I will see you guys on Monday. Bye bye.